I always stick to my words. I don't want to change nothing what I said, and it's in a way, you know, they always like to take words out of context. You know, what I said is that they're not boring as persons, because I cannot be the judge of that. I'm not being there in their private life. I don't know their interests, you know, and most of the guys, you know, you just know from course, from matches, so they're all more or less same to you, you know, after a while. But the thing is that the questions, what you guys ask us most of the time, you know, I mean, you win a match, how do you feel? You know, I feel great. You know, you lose a match, how do you feel? You know, it's these kind of questions, you know, and this kind of, for example, they asked me what I would do, you know, in a way to make it more interesting. You know, I wouldn't do any kind of long press conferences at all after the match. I would do more exclusive stuff. You know, let's say you have a longer, you know, interview, like just to have more sense of who a person is, you know, and just to get that, you know. But these short comments, you know, it's not for me. It's not interesting at all.
No, I'm sure. Well, just going on to all the things I've read about you over the years, you know, I've read so many articles, sort of profiles of you, saying that you're almost too.
So many.
No. Well, there are lots.
I was off the radar.
No, you're above it. Don't worry. Saying that you're almost too intelligent to be a tennis player. That sometimes you get bored with the game. That your mind goes somewhere else. Is that true?
That's not for me to say. My intelligence level is not for me to. I can work on it. I can always improve it. But
well, we can all do that. I think the point is that if you've got a very active mind and lots of interests outside tennis.
I do see a lot of stuff. For example, if I play on a big court, I do see everything. I do see all the small movements of the crowd, you know, and I don't want to see it. You know, I'm working that it doesn't disturb you, you know, but when it happens, you know, it happens, and then it's just emotions, you know, and I want to keep those emotions in line, you know. So that's maybe a next step for me to become really, really good.
I'll tell you what you don't want to do, play on court 6. Because being round here would do your head in. You've got the clarinetist at the moment.
I played a lot in these kind of courts, trust me.
The disco's coming on later on.
I want to be more now in the center courts.
Okay, one more thing that you can refute, and then we'll talk about tennis. Because whenever we read these things, we go, that sounds really cool. Did you really used to go to junior tennis matches in your father's helicopter?
Let's keep the illusion alive. I will not answer this question.
You're not going to answer the question? I think we're going to take that as a yes, then. I can't imagine what your opponents must have thought of when this 15-year-old turned up with his bag and didn't get the bus.
That's exactly a little bit wrong. Just to clear it up, I used to travel a lot with my former coach Niki Pilic, and he put a lot of basis in my, let's say, education in a way, you know. And we never flew business class. We only flew economy class. We always went to tournaments by car when it was close to Europe. Basically, I was playing the tournaments, the future level tournaments, only in Europe, just because he liked to go with the car and I didn't mind, you know. So it wasn't nothing about that, you know. So that's just in a way
it's a good story.
It's a good story, and some of it is true, but some of it isn't.
Where you are now, you know, into the last 16, probably against Federer. As we're talking now, he's one set all. You've had a quarter-final here once, what, 2008? You played Djokovic, I think. You know. When you got to that quarter-final 6 years ago now, did you think, that's my big breakthrough, and then it hasn't quite happened? Is that something that you think about? At
that moment, I didn't think at all. You know, whatever happened, it just came, and I didn't put a lot of thought in it. Now, with a clear mind, I understand everything was happening. You know, I feel every emotion. You know, that's why I enjoy it so much right now, because I feel nervous. I like it. You know, I feel the winning enjoyment. I like it. You know, I try to understand and feel every emotion to the fullest right now, because is the implication of that perhaps 5 or 6 years ago you didn't? 5 or 6 years ago, you know, I played quarterfinals. I thought that now I'm the next big thing. You know, I'm gonna play quarters, next tournament, semis again. You know, that the results are gonna come without really hard work. You know, and life put me in a situation where I had to be in not life, but I put myself in a situation that I'm ranked 150 in the world. I'm asking for a challenger wildcard in main draw. They don't give it to me. I have to play challenger quali in the middle of nowhere, you know, in winter at the end of the season when the top guys are playing the Masters, you know. And that's what, when you really understand it. Okay, I have such a, let's say, potential and talent to be, let's say, where I am right now. But at that moment, I just needed to change something, you know. And let's say 5-6 years ago, I didn't think about it at all.
If you want an interesting question, let me ask you an interesting question, because we have this great debate about British tennis at the moment, about do we need to go into the inner city areas and get kids who don't have very much, and is that where we're going to find the next Andy Murrays? You know, do we need to actually change the social demographic of tennis in Britain? As somebody who comes from a very privileged background, but what you're just saying just there is that actually it's the person inside, it's the pride of the individual that actually drives you on. Because you could, 18 months or so ago, or when your ranking was dropping, you could have said, I don't actually need this anymore, do I? But something inside you said, no, I want to carry on.
Okay, well, I have my opinion about this and about the big federations and about smaller countries. Let's say I'm coming from a smaller country, and people like to say that I'm in a way spoiled, in a way arrogant, you know, like I'm coming from a wealthier family, you know, but I wouldn't have any other possibility to play tennis otherwise. You know, I don't have, throughout these years, I never got €1 from my government, not €1 from my federation. Everything had to come out from my, basically my parents' money, you know, and in a way I envy people from big federations, from Canadian Tennis Federation, from English and from USA, French, you know. Even now, you know, they're playing and they have all the, they have coach paid for, they have physio paid for, you know, so they don't have any expenses. Still, you know, I earn enough money, but just to cover my expenses. At the end of the day, you know, people think that I earn a lot on the paper, but I don't, because I have a coach, I have physio and all the stuff surrounding it, you know. So I really hope that for English, with all their money and all their power, they can find more players, because it's a little bit shocking in a way for me. I simply cannot understand it.
I think so that a lot of people listening will empathise with what you say. Listen, it is lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And listen, the very, very best of luck, you know, in the last 16. And here's to the next Grand Slam quarter-final, whenever that may be. Well, the question's okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, good. That's really important. All right. Great to meet you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Ernest Gulbis, what a really interesting guy, and I'll be fascinated to see how he progresses against Roger Federer in the next round. At the moment, nobody's progressing anywhere, because the rain has come down with a vengeance. It's the first real kind of storm that we've had since play began last Sunday. So play